Given how difficult it was for me to talk about my latest video, which details my heartfelt personal experience regarding how a social work service manager tried to force me to blame a mother after she reported 7 incisions she noticed on her son after picking him up from nursery, I have decided to use my own voice on Speechify to record my videos, especially on sensitive topics. This matter is sensitive as well, and moving forward, I believe my Speechify voice recording will be very useful in situations that require this level of sensitivity. I am a delicately beautiful soul and an empath, and I really struggle to stomach injustices without breaking down. A mother of a 6-month-old infant expressed feeling like a criminal after her son's birthmarks were misidentified as bruises. Lakshmi Thappar's child was born with blue-grey spots, which are typical for infants with darker skin tones. After being referred to a hospital in Basingstoke, she was arrested when medical personnel and police followed protocol concerning suspected child abuse. Activists are advocating for increased awareness about this condition, emphasizing that misdiagnoses can have devastating effects on families wrongfully accused. Ms. Thapar, originally from Nepal and residing in Basingstoke, consulted her doctor in May because she noticed the blue spots had darkened and new ones had appeared. The existing blue marks, known as Mongolian blue spots, had been documented in her son's medical records since his birth in November. Upon being referred to Basingstoke and North Hampshire Hospital, police arrested her on suspicion of actual bodily harm and neglect. The 29-year-old, who was breastfeeding at the time, spent 20 hours in a police cell before being released pending a medical assessment. "It was very difficult for me," she recounted. "I had never been apart from my baby since he was born. I felt like a criminal, spending a night in a cell without any medical justification for my detention." While she was held, her baby was cared for by the hospital, and she was allowed to express milk for his feeding. After her release, a social services evaluation confirmed that her son was safe. Subsequent scans revealed no skeletal injuries, and a dermatologist confirmed that the markings were blue spots, not bruises. The police concluded that no assault had occurred. Faye Wheeler, founder of the Blue Spot campaign, noted that she frequently hears of misdiagnoses regarding these birthmarks, which can develop after birth. Many families are devastated by this, leading to distrust in health professionals, she said, highlighting a need for better education and training regarding blue spots. The Hampshire Hospital's NHS Foundation Trust stated it could not comment on specific cases, but affirmed that staff likely followed established guidelines, emphasizing that safeguarding children is paramount and that differentiating between suspected bruising and Mongolian blue spots is complex. Detective Chief Inspector Gemma Anacora from Hampshire Constabulary acknowledged the challenges but mentioned that police involvement is standard when child safeguarding issues arise. She stated, "While I sympathise with the situation, procedures must be followed to gather evidence and ensure the child's safety." Dr. Bernard Gallagher, an independent child protection researcher at the University of Huddersfield, remarked that it is reasonable for agencies to intervene when there are suspicions of child abuse, even though mistakes can occur when acting quickly. Ms. Thapar reported receiving a verbal apology from a hospital doctor. She has the support of Basingstoke Unites Against Racism, a local advocacy group that collaborates with police and hospitals to tackle such concerns. The group stated its commitment to addressing issues within the BMA community and providing thorough support. "I am enduring an unacceptable situation, and I want to prevent this from happening to others," Ms. Thapar said. "No parent should have to be separated from their baby as I was." What are blue spots? Blue-grey marks that resemble bruises on the skin commonly appear from birth on the lower back, buttocks, arms, or legs. Most frequently seen in babies with darker skin, generally harmless and typically fade by age 4, not indicative of any health issue. It's sad that we are in 2024 and this sort of thing is still happening. Over 20 years ago, Many babies and toddlers were removed from the care of their loving parents and families for the very same reason. The medical name for the blue-grey marks is Mongolian blue spots, which highlights further issues within the social and care sectors. A social worker or a nurse can make an assumption and run with it without doing any robust checks or fact-finding. Some social workers and NHS professionals believe that their hypothesis is the gospel truth and quickly act on it. Other professionals often fail to challenge social workers on these assumptions. My question is, where were the nurses and doctors? Why didn't they double-check this ideology that the mother had bruised her child with more experienced doctors or nurses? There should have been someone to inform them that this is a medical condition that children typically grow out of by the time they reach 4 years old. To go as far as arresting a mother without taking the time to interview her or gather further information is an act of wickedness. The system destroys families. The system destroys lives. I'm certain that had she been a white, middle-class British woman, the white sisterhood would have rallied around her and shown her the empathy she deserved. I can tell you that they would have shown her more mercy, grace and compassion, but she wasn't their English Rose and therefore failed to empathize or connect with her on a humanistic way. The system is not only racist, but has turned into a country full of uneducated, misogynistic football hooligans. The same men who make monkey memes of black footballers whenever England lose a World Cup are the same hooligans who go home to beat their wives when they lose a football match. They are also the same ones going out with their potbellies, rioting, looting and vandalizing, using 3 innocent children as an excuse to behave badly because hooligan sees the sun is out. The same women they beat at home are going into the workplace, taking their anger out on their black colleagues.